Hello everyone. Welcome to UPSC Civil Service Exam Notes. We are providing free competitive notes. Be active, deep focus. Let's start. Class 11 NCERT Economics Chapter 2. Indian Economy 1950 to 1990. Different economic system. Economic organization. 1. Capitalist economy. 2. Socialist economy. 3. Mixed economy. 1. Capitalist economy. Depends upon market forces of demand and supply. In this type of economy only these consumer goods will be produced that have good demand in the market and yield profit top the producers. The only aim is profit maximization and the consumers are free to consume whatever they like. 2. Socialist economy. A system in which all the decisions taken by the government. Government decides what goods are to be produced in accordance with the needs of the society, how goods are to be distributed. 3. Mixed economy. Public and private sector exist side by side. Both price mechanism and central planning authority decide what, how and for whom to produce. India is a mixed economy. Economic planning means utilization of countries' resources in different development activities in accordance with national priorities. India has completed its 12 FYP and 13th started 2017-22. Goods of planning in India. Long-term. Short-term. 1. Long-term goals, to be achieved over a period of 20 years. Modernization, adoption of new technology and changes in social outlook. Self-reliance, reducing dependence on imports. Economic growth, increase in the aggregate output of goods and services. Equity, reduction in inequality of income and wealth. Full employment refers to a situation when all the people in the working age group is actually engaged in some gainful employment. 2. Short-term goals, to be achieved over a period of 5 years. Short-term objectives vary from plan to plan depending on current needs of the country. Example, first FYP focused on higher agricultural production. Second FYP focused on industry. In India, growth and equity are objectives of all the FYP. The goal of 12th FYP, 2012 to 17 inclusive development. Agriculture. Role of agriculture. Agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy system and economic activity. 1. Agriculture contributes significantly in national income. 2. It provides employment to a large labor force. 3. It provides basis for industrial development. 4. A large portion of country's trade and services depends upon agricultural operations. Main features of Indian agriculture: low productivity, disguised unemployment, dependence on rainfall. Subsistence farming, objective of farmer is to secure substance for his family, not to earn profit. Traditional inputs: small holdings, backward technology, landlord-tenant conflict. Problems of Indian agriculture. Statistics reveal that India poorly lags behind in both land productivity, labor productivity, as compared to other countries. 1. Institutional problem: defective tenancy reforms, lack of credit and marketing facilities, size of holding. 2. General problems: pressure of population on land degradation, subsistence farming. 3. Technical problems: obsolete technique of production, lack of irrigation facilities, cropping pattern. Reforms in Indian agriculture. 1. Land reforms. Land reforms refer to changes brought about in the agrarian structure through direct intervention by the state to increase efficiency and productivity in agriculture. Abolition of intermediaries. Lack of political will. Problems of voluntary surrender by tenant. Inadequate proof of tenancy. 2. General reforms. Expansion of irrigation facilities. Provision of credit. Regulated markets and cooperative marketing society. Support price policy. 3. Green Revolution. The HYVP, NAS or Green Revolution was launched in October 1965. Use of package inputs. Scientific rotation of crops. Minor irrigation works were taken up. Rise in production and productivity. Increase in income. Increase in employment. Achievements of Green Revolution. Rise in production and productivity. Increase in income. Rise in commercial farming. Impact on social revolution of new technology, HYV seeds, fertilizers, etc. Increase in employment. Substantial rise in average. Failures of Green Revolution. restricted to limited crops and areas such as two crops wheat and rice growing states like Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, and Andhra Pradesh. Partial of poverty. Neglected land reforms. Increase in income disparity between small and big farmers. Ecological degradation. Industry. Role of industrial sector in India. Industrialization plays an important role in the economic development of a country. Industrially well-developed economies are economically prosperous. Role. 1. Meeting over rising demand. 2. Rising people's income. 3. High potential for growth. 4. Key to high volume of exports. 5. Provides employment. 6. Leads to modernization. Industrialization is a precondition for the final takeoff in economy. Industrial development since independence. Share of industrial sector in the GDP has increased up to 20% in 2013-14. Important changes. Development of infrastructure like power, transport, communication, banking and finance, qualified and skilled human resource. Much progress in the field of research and development. Expansion of public sector. Building up of capital goods industry. Growth of non-essential consumer goods industries. Problems of industrial development in India. 1. Sectoral imbalances. Agriculture and infrastructure have failed to provide the support to the industrial sector. 2. Regional imbalances restricted to few states. 3. Industrial sickness which raised the problem of unemployment. 4. Higher cost of industrial product due to lack of healthy competition. 5. Dependence on the government for reduction in tax or duty to make import easier. 6. Poor performance of the public sector. 7. Underutilization of capacity. 8. Increasing capital output ratio. Industrial Policy Resolution, IPR, 1956. Industrial policy is an important instrument through which the government regulate the industrial activities in the economy. The 1956 revolution laid down the following objectives of industrial policy. 1. To accelerate the growth of industrialization. 2. To develop heavy industry. 3. To expand public sector. 4. To reduce disparities in income and wealth. 5. To prevent monopolies and concentration of wealth and income in the hands of a small number of individual. Features of Industrial Policy Resolution IPR 1956. 1. New classification of industries. Industries were classified into 3 Schedule. Schedule A-17. Schedule B-12. Schedule C. 1. Schedule A-17. Industries listed in Schedule A, whose future development would be the responsibility of state. 2. Schedule B-12. Industries were included in Section B. Private sector could supplement the efforts of the public sector, with the state taking sole responsibility for starting new units. 3. Schedule C. Other residual industries were left open to private sector. 2. Stress on the role of cottage and small-scale industries. 3. Industrial licensing. Industries in the private sector could be established only through a license from the government. 4. Industrial concessions were offered private entrepreneurs for establishing industry in the backward regions of the country, such as tax rebate and concessional rate for power supply. Public sector. Public sector of all the industrial and commercial enterprises, which are owned by the government and managed either by the government, or itself or by some other agencies, on behalf of the government. Role of public sector. Lack of capital with the private entrepreneurs. Lack of incentive among the private entrepreneurs' demand due to limited size of the market. Socialistic pattern of society. Main aim of government is to generate employment rather than profits. Development of infrastructure. Development of backward areas. To prevent conflict of economic power. To promote import substitution. Problems of public sector. Unprofitable pricing. Overstaffing. Management gaps. Underutilization gaps. High losses. Inadequate autonomy. Burden of sick units. Small-scale industries, SSI, one whose investment does not exceed 5 crore. Role of small-scale industries. Labor-intensive, employment-oriented. Self-employment. Less capital-intensive. Export promotion. Seedbeds for large-scale industries. Shows locational flexibility. Problems of small-scale industries. Difficulty of finance. Shortage of raw material. Difficulty for marketing. Outdated machines and equipment. Competition from large-scale industries. Foreign trade. At the time of independence, raw material was exported from India to Britain in abundance. On the other hand, finished goods from Britain were imported into India. Notably, our balance of trade favorable. After independence, India's foreign trade recorded a noticeable change, such as 1. Decline in percentage share of agricultural exports. 2. Increase in age share of manufactured goods in total exports. 3. Change in direction of export trade and import trade. 4. Decline of Britain as main trading partner. Trade policy. In the first 7.5 years plan of India, the trade was commonly called an inward-looking trade strategy. This strategy is technically known as import substitution. Import substitution means substituting imports with domestic production. Imports were protected by the imposition of tariff and quotas, which protects the domestic forms from foreign competition. Impact of inward-looking trade strategy on the domestic industry. 1. It helped to save foreign exchange by reducing import of goods. 2. Created a protected market and large demand for domestically produced goods. 3. Helped to build a strong industrial base in our country, which directly lead to economic growth. Criticism of import substituting strategy. 1. It did not lead to growth. 2. Lack of competition implied lack of modernization. 3. Growth of insufficient monopolies. 4. It did not lead to efficiency. Industrial licensing. Licensing is a tool for channelizing scarce resources in predetermined priority sector of an economy. The Industries Development and Resolution Act (IDRA) was enacted in 1951. Main objectives of IDR Act of 1951. 1. Regulation of industrial development in accordance with planned priorities. 2. Avoidance of monopoly. 3. Balanced regional development. 4. Prevention of undue of competition between large-scale industries and small-scale industries. 5. Optimum utilization of scarce foreign exchange resources. Criticism against industrial licensing. 1. There was ad hoc system for accepting or rejecting an application for license. 2. The quality of techno-economic examination conducted by Director General of Technical Development was generally poor. 3. Licensing policy result in underutilization of capacity in many industries. 4. In reality, the policy helped large-scale business houses in accumulating economic power. Permit license Raj. The licensing authorities many a times granted license to big business houses without proper scrutiny of their applications. That's it. We are completed Chapter 2. We are working for you to give free education. Stay with us. Learn more easily and free. Subscribe and like. UPSC CSE Notes. Work for people and serve the country. Jai Hind.